going to do vocal production today. Now, all of the plugins we're using are part of the Music Production Pro suite from iZotope. So follow along, download a free trial if you don't have them today, and I'm going to show you how quickly and easily you can get a great sounding mix. Now, if you want these tracks that we're working on today for yourself, visit our friends at producelikeapro.com, sign up, and take advantage of all they have to offer, become part of that amazing community today. Let's get started. Let's take a listen to our vocals from the top at verse 1.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lies. All these worlds don't combine. There's always one left behind.
Great. Now we've got a pop mix, female vocal, awesome voice, and we're going to really blend this in and make it shine. So the first thing I did is I inserted Nectar Pro here as my top insert on the lead vocal. And to get started, we're going to use our assistant. This is going to jumpstart our creativity. It's going to give us a custom preset that we can start working from. So to get started doing that, I'm going to choose Vocal Assistant. Now I want to enhance the track and choose Next. And simply play your audio back, and it'll begin creating that vocal chain for us to get started with.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed.
Now, as it's listening, it's going to give us an opportunity to choose the kind of vibe, the feel, the intensity. Because new in Nectar Pro, we're now able to go back, and instead of rerunning Vocal Assistant, we can open it again and make minor adjustments in real time. And then when we feel that the vibe is right, we can stop and then continue our processes from there. There. Now it says, set the vibe for your vocal. This is really important. You know, we want to begin some forward thinking. Where are we going with this vocal? So that's important. It identified it as singing, which is great. Now here's what's new. We can open this window at any time and adjust these parameters without having to rerun the Vocal Assistant. Really amazing. If you want a lighter intensity, maybe if you feel it's too aggressive for the vibe, you can back the slider down. Or if you want some more intensity, maybe some more compression, lower your ratios a little bit, your thresholds actually, you can lean it towards the more aggressive side. I'll keep it in the middle now for more balanced feel. And now we get the kind of tone. We want a darker tone to our vocal vibe, a balanced one, bright and airy. Now, she's a great singer, and she's already kind of has like a bright, nice female voice to herself. So I wouldn't choose area bright. I'll leave it on balance for now and just choose done. Now what we're looking at here is our custom vocal chain that was now created for us to help us get started. Let's take a listen to what Nectar's Vocal Assistant has provided us.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you.
Now, already I could tell that the vocal is more consistent, it's linear, it's a little bit more tight. Let's A-B it. Let me solo the vocal and let's bypass it.
I do things that take away from you.
And here's with it in.
I do things that take away from you.
Now you'll notice that it's not only linear, more consistent, it's also really transparent. I like that. But it did add a reverb. I'm going to take the reverb out, and I'll show you how to do this. You can create your own custom chain by moving these modules around in any way you want. You can adjust the mix and the wet-dry mix, and you can bypass them, turn them on and off, and you can solo the effect too. So you can do quite a bit with these little module windows. All right? But if you want to remove a module at any time, just select the remove. Now let's see what it gave us. Under EQ, EQ1 is typically a little bit more subtractive, bring down some of the frequencies that we don't want to hear. Here's our de-esser, which I think is really important. And as a matter of fact, let's set this. It's at about 4.4 kilohertz, and with a threshold, I'll leave it at -7. Let's take a listen to this.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you.
Now we have some nice sibilance in there that it's taming, and you can see with the reduction meter there in real time. Check it out again.
I I do what I do, things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you.
There, and if you want to adjust that, the amount reduction, you can do it right here with this. All right, so let's get started. Let's have a little bit of fun. I'll leave this on, it was about maybe 6.5. Let's go on to our first compressor. Now, this is where I want to begin imparting my own personal edge, my own personal creativity, and build upon what Vocal Assistant has provided us with already. Now, I chose optical, and I like that. It's more of a softer compressor type. It's not going to be very aggressive. It uses an optical emulation. And if you want to change that, right here at the drop down, select the arrow here, and we can go from digital, vintage emulation, optical, and solid state. And each one is going to impart a unique tone and character. Now, for vocals, it is popular to use an optical compressor. And I actually like them, especially as my first compressor. I'm going to leave it on optical. And here's a really good tip. I think this works for myself and a lot of people. Is I don't want one compressor to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So I'm going to use two compressors together in tandem. So they're working together. And I think that's a little bit more transparent. And often it gives me a little bit more finesse with my details. And to adjust this, as the graphical display is going to show us the waveform and the reduction as it's happening according to the parameters that we set here. Check it out.
I do what I do, things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lives, all these worlds don't combine. There's always one left behind.
I think that sounds really good. I set a threshold of about -12. Now, to adjust the attack, we can choose that here, how aggressive we want it to come in or out, 100 milliseconds. Let me tweak that a little bit. You know what? For an optical, I'm going to leave it set high. Our release and our makeup gain here. You can adjust the makeup gain, but right now I have it set to auto. It's going to automatically adjust the makeup gain for me. That's a nice feature, but keep in mind, if you are going to use that, it is on. And if you don't need it, you can deactivate it anytime. And you can still adjust the makeup gain yourself. Reduce it or increase it anytime. And you can double click that parameter to set it back to default 0. All right, let's go on to our next module that our Vocal Assistant suggested. And that's more of a boost. This is EQ2. Now we could grab any one of these nodes and we could tune them to taste. Okay, EQs are very transparent and super creative. And I just love using them. You can expand this window here and you can make them dynamic so they can adjust the amplitude frequency changes in real time. Really great feature. I think we'll do that maybe when we're doing some unmasking. You can adjust your bell curve, your low pass, high pass, and you can choose them all from here. Plus you can activate and deactivate the EQ, so you can A/B that and solo. You can solo those bands. I think that's really handy because you can isolate certain bands within your EQ. You can really tunnel your focus if you want to specifically hear, a frequency that might be bothering you and you want to narrow it down. All right, now let's have a little bit more fun. I'm going to come up to this plus box here. I want to keep moving here. And I'm going to add another compressor. Now, as I mentioned before, I don't want one compressor to do a lot of heavy lifting, typically. So we set our optical a bit moderate. It's nice. But now I want something a little faster to catch some of those overs that are still peeking through. So I think I'll choose either digital or solid state. I'm going to leave it on digital. And let's play back the audio and adjust our parameters in real time.
I do what I do, things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lives, all these worlds don't combine. There's always one left behind.
I like that. So I have compressor 1, which is set to optical, and compressor 2. Now notice my signal chain. I'm doing some subtractive EQ, then I'm de-essing, which is also another form of subtractive EQing, and then a compressor, an optical compressor to start riding the vocals for us, then a corrective EQ. We're boosting some frequencies, a little cut and highs here, and then a compressor 2 to catch some of the quick overs. And notice also that I have the automatic leveling mode is on here. This is a really cool feature. it's going to keep your volume within a certain target range. It's really creative. And you set that range here with this node. So let's say I wanted my vocals to be closer to a target range of maybe -6.0. This is an assistant. It's going to help keep those keep the level of those vocals within, I think it's about plus or minus 3 dB. So it really helps channel them into a more creative tunnel, because you want some more continuity with the vocals. Then of course you can go back and do some vocal automation in that lane under your vocals later. But for now, I'm going to leave it under the suggested one of about -8. All right, let's hear our vocals now in the mix.
I do what I do, things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lies, all these worlds don't combine.
Let's try it in a more energetic part of the song, and that's the chorus.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake me wide awake. Shake me wide awake. Let your heartbeat move me wide awake.
Sounds great. Sounds consistent, sounds nice, and still really transparent. I like the way this is developing. And again, we jump-started our creativity by simply using Vocal Assistant. And then we can impart our own little nuances and taste to that. Let's move on now. So we just created a nice vocal chain here using Nectar Pro on our lead vocal. Let's add some reverb to this. I'm going to use Neoverb Pro. All right. Now, Neoverb Pro is also included in the Music Production Suite Pro. For more information, absolutely visit iZotope.com for their offers in the subscription deals, because you would have access to the most cutting-edge software that's constantly being upgraded, so you're always guaranteed to be using the latest version. Another really great advantage. This is Neoverb. Now, I'm bussing my vocals to this effect right here, Neoverb. So now we have our lead vocal and Neoverb. Let's take a listen to the default Neoverb sound with the vocals.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake me wide awake. Shake me wide awake.
That sounds good already. Let's pop that in the mix just to see what it sounds like.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake me wide awake.
Oh, I just love reverbs. Now, like most of the plugins that iZotope offers, they're super intelligent. But don't forget that the intelligence isn't arbitrary or programmed. It's created by human beings who've listened and researched, and producers who love audio, and they've channeled all of their years of experience into these assistant applications. So when it says assistant, you are truly getting and leveraging the experience and efforts of human beings who are passionate about audio and have contributed a lot to these plugins. So let's open up Reverb Assistant right now. And all we need to do is begin playing our audio. We could choose the style that we want for our music. If you want a more realistic room sounding reverb or more dramatic, I'll lean it towards realistic a little bit more. Choose our room size, a wet dry mix, and then again, do we want like a clean reverb, a dark, a bright, or an airy one? You know, being a female vocal, I think it's often smart, again, to have some forward thinking and to understand where you want the reverb tone to sit in your mix. Clean might be a good one. Bright might be a little bit too much. So let's keep it on clean for now. And then we're going to begin playing our audio.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake me wide awake. Shake me wide awake. Let your heartbeat move me.
So we're greeted with this window. Here's a suggestion to help you get started. Now notice there's a really great advantage to using these assistants. They're actually telling you what they're doing. They're not keeping secrets from you. A really cool advantage right there. All right, let's choose accept. And this is what our Reverb Assistant is giving us to help get started.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake me wide awake.
So there is a reverb in there. It is clean. It's really nice. Let's talk a little bit about the interface here. So there's basically 3 areas of different reverbs that we can apply. Reflections, we can turn them on and off here. We could choose between different ones, and Hall. So we can have a combination of all 3 of these and blend them in this area between the three. You can also automate these features. That's a really cool bonus. I'm going to put this on, let's see, plate, and let's test it out now.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake, shaking me wide awake. Shake, shaking me wide awake.
I really like that. Let's hear that in the mix real quick.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake, shaking me wide awake. Shake, shaking me wide awake. Let your heartbeat move me.
Now, notice you have a pre-EQ and a reverb EQ. This one will contour the reverb tail for you, and you can also do some unmasking here. For example, if I wanted to, I have a music stem. I have a music stem right here, and I inserted relay. Now, relay, if you're not using a plugin with interplugin communication on it, like Neutron or Nectar or Neoverb, but you still want the plugin to listen to and work with the track, then relay is your key. This application is simply going to allow other iZotope plugins to tap into this and leverage it for some more creative purposes. And I named it Music Stem. So let's open up Neoverb and let's choose from the dropdown Music Stem.
Help me to stay while I'm wide.
And
Help me.
it's giving me, these lights are giving me areas where there could be possible masking. And then we can use the EQ to sculpt it out.
Help me to stay while I'm wide awake. You shake, shaking me wide awake. Shake, shaking me wide awake. Let your heartbeat move me. Wide awake. You shake, shaking me wide awake. Shake, shaking me wide awake. Wide awake now.
So we did a little bit of unmasking there. Again, these plugins are not only amazing to use, but they're really fun. And they inspired me to work. And that's cool. So what do we have here? We just did some Nectar Pro. We created a custom vocal chain with that. You know, I actually hear something in that chorus, and I want to add something else to this. And again, this is where we can begin to impart our own creativity here. I'm going to add a delay. Now, if you activate this, it'll keep musical tempo with what's programmed in your DAW. And here's our delay effect. But you can also choose the type of delay, like a digital, tape, analog, grunge, or echo. And then the amount of that effect in there. Let's listen to this.
Help me to stay where I'm wide awake.
Just the effect I was looking for. A little bit of a bounce back in there to add some ear candy to the choruses. I'm going to bring my mix down a little bit though.
Help me to stay where I'm wide awake. You shake, shaking me wide awake.
Now notice the delay is in mono. It's right up the center because we put it on a mono track. If you were to bus your vocals to a stereo track and then put a stereo version of Nectar Pro on there, all the effects, the delay, the reverb, the harmony, the dimension would all be in stereo. But for now, they're going to be mono because they're on a mono track.
Help me to stay where I'm.
Now, I want to do something with that delay. Let's have a little bit of creative fun now. I'm going to right-click and choose my automation dialog here. That's going to be different with your DAW of choice. Obviously, these work with every DAW, Studio One, Logic, Pro Tools, you name it. And I want to find my delay. Here we go. Here's my delay settings, my wet mix, and I'm going to choose Add. Now, what I did is I added that lane here to my vocals. Let's go and open this up here. That's my vocal reverb. There we go. Nectar Pro, delay, wet mix. There we go. They're all the same colors. It would help to obviously change those colors. All right, let's have a little bit of fun now. All right, so here we go. We got Nectar here and the wet mix. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I want to create something that is going to make it a little bit more ear candy friendly, okay? And let's zoom in a little bit. Where's our chorus? Okay, so for this part, I'm going to take my delay down quite considerably. Let's say about to 12. And then when we get to the choruses, we'll get that gallop feel.
With the morning I don't fade. With the morning I don't fade. Help me to stay where
Oh, that works really well. Let's listen to the pre-chorus into the chorus now. And we added a delay within Nectar Pro, and we're automating the effect of that delay.
just wrap the moon around me so. With the morning I don't fade. With the morning I don't fade. Just wrap the moon around me so. With the morning I don't fade. With the morning I don't fade. Help me to stay where I'm wide awake. You're shaking me wide awake. Shaking me wide awake.
I would go in there and obviously automates the delay even further. But I want to show you how easy it is to be creative with just this one plugin alone. I mean, look at my track. Just one plugin, Nectar Pro, and it's all happening within that. Effects, compressors, EQs, you name it. All right. Now, there's one more thing I want to do here. I want to add some saturation. And I'm going to move that here before the delay. Saturation is going to impart its own sonic characteristics onto this. Now, I actually love doing this, especially on female vocals. Here's another tip. I'm just going to add a little bit of warmth. And what this is going to do is impart a little bit of what's considered warm vocal saturations. It's going to sound a little bit more softer, more warmer, I should say. Sorry. Let's take it from the verse.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you.
Now I'm going to bypass the saturation, see if you can hear the difference.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed.
Still sounds good, but the saturation does tuck it in a little bit, I feel.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you.
Great. All right, let's move on. I want to do some more vocal effects here. Now we've got some other tracks here. Here's what I call a vocal grind, and here's a wide vocal. Check this out. Let me solo this.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lives. All these worlds don't combine. There's always one left behind.
So this track is intended to be like an enhancement track, and it's happening, throughout the whole song. And I want to add something to this. And the perfect thing, I just love this. Check this out. VocalSynth. Here we go. I'm going to put VocalSynth Pro Stereo. Now, what VocalSynth is going to do, this is also included with Music Production Pro Suite, is it's going to transform our audio. And it works amazing on vocals. You've got 5 different modules here: BioVox, Vocoder, CompuVox, TalkBox, and Polyvox. And each one is going to do something unique and really transform, change the audio, add a whole new creative layer to your mixes, your vocals. Now, because this is a stereo track, I want to adjust my width. Here's another tip for you. If you don't adjust your width, might sound mono still. I'll put this on Polyvox for now. Let's activate Polyvox.
I do things that take away from you.
Okay, so I'm going to increase the width.
I do things that take away from you.
Oh yeah, that's better.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting.
Here's without.
Do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you.
Notice there's a little bit of some twitches in there. That could be some breaths or lip noises. So I'm going to increase the gate here. Right there. All right.
I do.
Now you could change some of the character and the format.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but
So let's hear this with the lead vocal.
I do things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lives. All these worlds don't combine. There's always one left behind.
And here's without.
I do
And here's with.
I do what I do, things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but
So I'm blending it in just a little bit, so there's a little bit more of her lead vocal happening separately in the left and right ear, but it doesn't sound the same, because if it sounds too much the same, it's still going to sum a little bit in the phantom image in the center. But by creating a differentiation, it really enhances the stereo effect of that. Let's do this again, actually. Underneath the choruses, we have a double that's happening right here. All right, and I'm going to put VocalSynth on there as well. Let's go to search. Vocal. Okay, now this is going to be a mono one. All right, there, perfect. Now let's solo this. And another popular application with VocalSynth is the vocoder. And I'm going to turn it on right here. And let's take a listen to what the vocoder is going to do. Let's run through some presets. Each one of these modules has presets here. That actually might sound pretty interesting under the lead. Let's see. All right, now inadvertently what we had done is create something really interesting. That preset is adding a little bit of weight to the center of her vocals and a little bit of a creative effect. So you can adjust the level here, the wet dry mix, within the application. And you can also shift it to more hard or soft. I'm going to choose soft, and you could make it lower sounding here with the shift. And double click to bring it all back in. And don't forget at the bottom, these modules allow you to insert effects. Let's say I wanted to add a little chorus to this. I can activate it right there. Let's hear that now. So I'm going to blend it in now with my fader. And adjust the wet dry mix a little bit. I'm going to bring it down to about 80%. Let's go to, all right. Let's bring this all in the mix, by the way. Let's hear how our vocals are developing relative to the stem that we're mixing to. Oh, that sounds really good. Sounds really, really, really good. Let me go back to here, and I'm going to pop in some nodes here. Let's see. All right, right about here. I'm going to bring in some nodes, and I'm going to let's tailor the delay effect down just a little bit, like that. And I'll do the same right over here. I just want the delay effect to be a little bit less on these parts. We're doing vocal production here. Okay, I'm going to bring those down a little bit more. This is how we do it. There. Now the vocal effect will ride, and it'll be enhanced at only certain parts of the chorus. Let's take it from verse 1, just for a minute. Here we go.
I do what I do, things that take away from you. You say I'm drifting, but I'm screwed if I'm distant from you. I'm living too many lies, all these worlds don't combine. There's always one left behind, just wrap the moon around me so.
Great. So all of these plugins are included with Music Production Pro Suite. Visit iZotope.com for more information. I suggest you could always download some free trials and just try them out in your own mixes. Plus, if you want access to quality sessions like this, if you need material to help practice mixing, then visit producelikeapro.com today. Become a member and part of an ever-growing, amazing community, both at iZotope.com and producelikeapro.com. My name is Carlo Libertini, and thank you for watching.